The question of Khloe Kardashian's paternity is not a rumor born from internet obsession or tabloid desperation. It is a structural fracture embedded in the Kardashian empire since its earliest years. Unlike fleeting scandals that flare and fade, this controversy persists because it sits at the intersection of identity, secrecy, power, and brand preservation. It is not merely about who Khloe's biological father may be. It is about who controls truth, who benefits from silence, and how a family built on transparency selectively withholds the one story it cannot afford to monetize. The origin of the controversy traces back to a moment Kris Jenner herself placed into the public record, her admission of an extramarital affair while married to Robert Kardashian. In her 2011 memoir, Jenner described the affair as a period of recklessness and regret, framing it as a personal failing that contributed to the dissolution of her marriage. What she did not anticipate, or perhaps underestimated, was how this confession would retroactively destabilize the family's narrative timeline. Khloe was born in 1984. The affair occurred within a time frame close enough to raise unavoidable questions that the family has spent decades attempting to contain rather than conclusively resolve. What separates this controversy from typical celebrity speculation is the testimony of individuals who occupied Robert Kardashian Sr.'s inner circle during his final years. Ken Gullickson, Robert's longtime pastor, claimed that while Robert loved Khloe deeply and treated her unequivocally as his daughter, he expressed doubts about being her biological father. Gullickson's account is significant, not because it proves paternity, but because of the role he played in Robert's life. As a spiritual confidant, not a media personality, his statements carry a gravity that gossip lacks. He had no financial incentive, no brand to promote, and no apparent motive beyond recounting what he believed to be true. This narrative was echoed by Yarn Ashley, Robert Kardashian Sr.'s second wife, who alleged that Robert made a quiet, deliberate statement before his death, acknowledging that Khloe was not biologically his. Ashley's claims were swiftly dismissed by the family and aggressively challenged in the press, yet they have never been conclusively disproven. Instead, they were neutralized through character assassination, legal pressure, and strategic silence. Ashley was framed as bitter, opportunistic, or unreliable, an effective tactic that redirected focus away from the substance of her claim. Robert Kardashian Sr.'s own response to the question of paternity, as described by those close to him, reveals the emotional core of the issue. He reportedly refused to undergo DNA testing, stating unequivocally that biology was irrelevant to him. "Whoever her father is, she's my child." This declaration, often cited as proof that the debate should end, paradoxically ensures it never will. By choosing love over verification, Robert preserved Khloe's emotional security but left the factual question unresolved. In doing so, he created a moral truth that clashes with public curiosity, a tension that has fueled speculation for decades. Public attention initially gravitated toward O.J. Simpson, largely due to his highly visible presence in the Kardashian household during Khloe's childhood and his deep friendship with Robert. This theory gained traction because it was sensational, scandal-adjacent, and aligned with the public's appetite for dramatic revelations. Both Simpson and Kris Jenner have repeatedly denied any such connection, and no credible evidence has ever substantiated the claim. Over time, the Simpson theory has functioned less as a serious hypothesis and more as a distraction, loud enough to divert attention from more plausible explanations. The theory involving Alex Roldan, the family's longtime hairstylist, has proven far more persistent. Unlike Simpson, Roldan occupied a quieter role, close enough to Kris Jenner during the relevant period, yet distant from the public spotlight. Fans began noticing what they described as an uncanny physical resemblance between Roldan and Khloe, particularly in early photographs. Similarities in facial structure, eye shape, jawline, and even expressions were widely circulated across forums and social media. While resemblance alone proves nothing, the consistency of these observations has kept the theory alive. The situation escalated dramatically when Kylie Jenner briefly posted a photo of Khloe standing beside Alex Roldan with the caption, "First official photo of my sister and her dad." The post was deleted almost immediately, but not before screenshots circulated widely. The family dismissed the incident as a joke, yet its impact lingered. In a family acutely aware of the power of words and images, the decision to post and then erase such a caption invited more scrutiny than silence ever could. Even Khloé's middle name, Alexandra, has been dissected as a potential clue. While naming conventions are subjective and often coincidental, the fact that fans feel compelled to analyze even this detail underscores the vacuum created by the absence of definitive answers. When a family refuses closure, speculation fills the void. Kris Jenner's response to the controversy has been consistent with her reputation as the family's chief strategist and brand architect. Rather than allowing the rumor to exist solely in tabloids, she brought it onto the family's reality show, reframing it as content she could control. On Keeping Up with the Kardashians, viewers watched as Jenner aggressively pushed Khloé to take a DNA test, presenting herself as a mother, desperate to clear her name and protect her daughter. Khloé's refusal was portrayed as an act of loyalty to Robert Kardashian Sr, a noble stand against reducing fatherhood to genetics. Behind the scenes, however, multiple production insiders have suggested that this storyline was carefully managed. According to these accounts, the DNA test storyline may have occurred after a private test had already been conducted, one whose results were never made public. If true, the televised refusal becomes less a moment of defiance and more a strategic misdirection. By staging the debate without resolution, the family retained control over the narrative while appearing transparent. Jenner's broader approach to damage control has reportedly extended beyond storytelling into legal and financial measures. Persistent rumors claim that cease and desist letters were issued to suppress discussion of the paternity question. More explosively, it has been alleged that Alex Roldan received a substantial financial settlement, reportedly as high as $30 million in exchange for his silence. While this figure has never been confirmed through official documentation, the absence of a denial from Roldan himself has only fueled speculation. In an industry where defamation lawsuits are commonplace, silence can speak volumes. The reason this controversy refuses to die is simple. It cannot be conclusively disproven without an action the family refuses to take: public DNA confirmation. Every other Kardashian storyline, from divorces to addictions to infidelity, has been dissected, monetized, and repackaged. This one remains untouched, not because it lacks drama, but because it threatens the foundation of the brand itself. The Kardashian empire is built on the illusion of radical transparency, yet its power lies in selective opacity. The paternity question exposes the limits of that transparency. It challenges the narrative of control, the image of a matriarch who manages every outcome, and the mythology of a family united by blood and loyalty. If the truth were revealed, and it contradicted the public story, it would retroactively destabilize decades of branding. Khloé's own position within this narrative is the most complex. Publicly, she has always maintained that Robert Kardashian Sr is her father, regardless of biology. Her emotional connection to him is unquestionable, and her loyalty unwavering. In interviews, she has spoken about him with reverence and gratitude, emphasizing that fatherhood is defined by presence, not DNA. This stance has earned her public sympathy and respect. Yet moments of vulnerability have occasionally slipped through the family's polished veneer. One persistent rumor claims that during post-production of the DNA test episode, Khloé broke down and whispered, "Mum knows I know," a moment allegedly cut from the final edit. While unverified, the story resonates because it aligns with the emotional undercurrent viewers have sensed for years. Khloé as the family's emotional anchor, bearing truths she did not choose and cannot publicly articulate. The irony is that Khloé herself has recently engaged in paternity testing in her own life, demanding certainty regarding her son Tatum's biological father. This juxtaposition has not gone unnoticed by fans. It highlights a generational shift, a woman who was denied clarity, now insisting upon it for her child. Whether intentional or subconscious, the contrast underscores the unresolved nature of her own origin story. Ultimately, the paternity controversy endures because it exists outside the Kardashian playbook. It cannot be spun into empowerment, reframed as growth, or sold as content without risking catastrophic brand damage. It is neither marketable nor redeemable. And in a family that has turned nearly every crisis into capital, that makes it uniquely dangerous. The question of Khloé Kardashian's biological father may never be publicly answered, not because the answer is unknowable, but because the cost of knowing it is too high. In that sense, the controversy has transcended gossip and become modern mythology, a story sustained by denial, silence, and the strategic exercise of power. As long as the family continues to control the narrative without closing it, the speculation will persist. Every resurfaced photo, every old claim, every accidental caption will reignite the conversation. Not because the public demands answers, but because unanswered questions are the only thing the Kardashian brand cannot fully command. And that, more than any resemblance or confession, is why the mystery refuses to disappear.